Lightning in the skies, LL don't lie. I can hold a larger load than those other little guys. One that are mature as the land. Man with the plan for you to look out for. I'm loose like the lace in your brand new sneakers, creating bass in your face like a large Vegas speaker. Look, listen to my rhymes. You will see the hardest listeners that stood online for tickets to see me kick it. Like it this way. Do you like Michael Jackson? You like Cool J? Cut creative. Cut. Cool J. Cut. Cut. You bring the wood back. I'll bring the wood. All right. We bought them all looking from the golden chairs. We thought it was the back over shit. There was a lot of great men, and I met everyone. Story is over, but my rhyme ain't done. I got us some stuff to do. Yo, yo, yo. Welcome. We get to it pretty quick. What up, monkeys? How you doing, my friend? Staying warm over there? Sorry, y'all. Just give me a quick second so I can get my life together. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, says Woodland Monkey, because that's my homie. Speaking of homies, Fetty Spaghetti. Morning, West. How's the weather? The weather is cold and frightful. So I am going to sit myself in this chair and not that chair until it's all done. Staying warm in the ice cold in Wisconsin. Yeesh, that just means there's a fire nearby, right? I would hope. So look, I got to throw on the old lung protection. And I'm going to scuff up this little area right here. And then I'm going to clean up this little area right here. And I'm going to make this should have been done a long time ago, but I'm going to make another patch of real estate that I can put my suction-based vise on. I might even work on that vise a little bit today. Not sure. But I'm going to at least clean this up so I got a better place to hold things so that when it's here, lean it there, I can work with my hands over here and we can get a good perspective for you guys. I've really been struggling with good perspective of my hands while I'm working. These ugly hands. No, just lucky the house is warm. Right on, monkey. Fair, glad we're both doing well. We are doing great. We're doing great. I was, they were predicting this to be pretty bad. I happen to live on the very edge of where it can be bad. But it's all relative. But for us, it just wasn't. It was just rain and a little bit of ice. Rain and cold temperatures mean icy roads. That's the biggest thing for us. And nobody here is used to icy roads, so nobody has a vehicle that can handle it. The ones that do don't know it and haven't driven it. And the ones that don't also don't know it and haven't driven it. And, it happens. But right now, I'm just moving my coffee and then getting me some eye shields. Put the coffee in its coffee cubby. I need some better theme music than Mario. Although, is there better theme music than Mario? I don't know. questionable at best. They're gonna forgive me as I'm starting to practice putting things away when I touch them. So I'm gonna do some of that. I can be cluttery, you know. Border of Minnesota. Oh my gosh, y'all are catching it. I'm down here in Georgia. Oh shoot, I keep forgetting my mastification. I ordered these masks on Amazon. I will let y'all know how they work out. I've already got some thoughts, but as I get talk about accessories, look like a robot. Speaking of, I need gloves. Not this second, I don't. There we go. What's the move? See if I can got any 220 around here. I need to knock this down more. Know what I mean? I got some 150, but I'd like to get a little bit higher. Who else is in the chat? Calvin, cool Cal. What up? Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Hey Harry, how you doing? Da, da, da. How y'all making out up there, Cal? Y'all getting it a lot worse than me, I'm sure. Now, I got a lot of good things to say about my trucks. But one thing that is also factual about them is none of them are four-wheel drive. None of them. I got this little 220 here, so I keep my butt off of the ice. As heavy as my trucks are, I'm slow in the rain, you know what I mean? Keep new tires, keep a lot of tread. Try to keep that thing on the road. Or off the road, whichever one makes the most sense. We lost power for a bit. I cranked the generator, number one, for a while. The power came back on after a while. I bet you immediately were glad that you got that generator. Like, I tell you what, the one time that you use a generator and you needed it, it's like brilliant. Glad you thought ahead. Mike, how you doing? Good to see us. We got up to 220 just now. What is that? Keep wiping on there. I think that's one of the epoxy things. Yeah. Almost sticky. And now we're gonna mix up a little bit of this stuff and put it on there. Today, man, I'm like, oh my God, I hope I don't have to go to the truck for anything. If I do, I'm gonna have to go the long way, go through the front door, because I don't have heat down here other than what I capture. And when I lift that door up, it makes it cold in here for a while. And I know if you're in Wisconsin or somewhere like that, you're probably like, boo-hoo, motor scooter, boo-hoo. But I'm built for tropical weather. This is clear. So I'm as close to the cold as I want to be. Yeah, I think this will work right here. I'll avoid where I have holes. Still allow my room for some clamping on this side. But it'll be good to have this thing a little bit closer to me. Let's give it a quick size check. Boom. Gotta work in multiple orientations. It almost wanted to stick just then. I don't trust you like that. I just don't trust you. I'm gonna make a little bit of noise with this generator for like 2 seconds. So y'all chill for a minute. Watch your noses, ears, and Sorry I did that to you. Hopefully these noise cancellation microphone is doing its job. I like how we get arrogant about stuff we don't even understand. If it's doing its darn job, then I should be fine. I couldn't build this if you gave me 10 years and my life depended on it. So I'm grateful, technology wizards, whoever you are. Let me hit this with some 400 grit because I'm paranoid and I overdo stuff. Deal with it. God. One more time. Benjamin says, we just had our rain, wet snow for a few hours and then boom, the temperature dropped and everything is covered in a thin layer of ice. Oh, I think that sounds about like what we're expecting to get today and tomorrow. We got the rain all weekend. I grilled anyway, and it was wonderful. But then the temperature is supposed to drop significantly tonight and tomorrow and keep all of that ice intact and making the roads very deceptively dangerous. Because in climates like mine that really don't get high levels of snow and ice, nobody knows how to manage it. We're not prepared for it. The city isn't either. It'd be a waste of money for this city to have snow plows. But we've all just learned it makes the best sense to park and heed the warnings when they come because we know we're not prepared for it. So I think Atlantans are getting better at that part. We didn't always. Speaking of parts, there's some two-part epoxy here. Here's one of them. And the other one is probably laying on the floor. Those are old man sounds. I know I got this from the freak. A glob a piece, relatively similar. Then we can get this out of here. You can do this thing so many different kind of ways, right? So many different kind of ways. I'm gonna go simple. Let me just take this little thing and I'm gonna just slide it over top of each other, fold it over, press it down, fold it over, press it down, fold it over. It'll start to react to itself and it'll start to get a little cloudy as the little bubbles start to form. And then when that's consistent, you know you got a good enough mix going. And so now I'm gonna just run these edges using this like a little squeegee. And this is gonna take all of 10 minutes to dry and cure up. And then I can go ahead and put my put my vise on it. Now the mistake I made the very first time I did this, I tried to make it super thick so that I'd have enough to sand down to smooth. What I should have done, more similar to what I'm doing now, which is sand it down smooth first, put on a thin layer, let it soak in, and that seems to be plenty. And then just let it do what it's supposed to do. It always starts to smell funny setting up. But then so do I. What can I say? Betty says, hey, buenos dias, Carlos. Hope your day is going well. I'm nice. Carlos, how you doing? Good afternoon to you too. Is Tim in the building? What's up, Tim? Benjamin Winkle. By the way, Mr. West, I have a bowl for you. I just need to enjoy it for a few weeks. I get it. I get it. I get it. Benjamin, I was set to send you this knife because it is my favorite so far. And I want it to be a worthy knife of that incredible bowl I got coming eventually. But now I want to do a brand new, completely different thing for you. I do want to do a knife. I want it to be a different kind of sheath. This is kind of for a desktop, right? Or a countertop. And, you know, it's a nice little thing that can be there, right? But I think something design-wise, like not this, but in the name, you know, in this genre, might be good. I've been wanting to do another tight, closed sort of knife with the wooden sheath again. So I think that's the way to go. You're good with that. Oh, what is the purpose of the epoxy on the bench? Oh, it is so that, I'll show you. I've got another little spot on this bench right here with the epoxy on it. And I use it. This works fine. But I do that because my table desktop vise has a suction cup on the bottom that actuates with this little lever here. And it works great, but only on a flat surface, only on something that's like dead flat, right? Otherwise, it lets go under pressure. So I make a sort of smooth glass-like finish with the epoxy, and that thing sticks to it great. After this sets up, I'll do a light little sand over top of it with the 400 grit, and then I'll smooth it out, and then I'll put that vise on it. You really like the shape on the first one I showed? This one? There's magnets in here. and it's a very snug fit. But I think about this sort of like a all-purpose desktop knife. I don't know. Like for instance, you know, get a little box or something from somewhere, pull your little blade out, and I should do this away from me so y'all don't panic. But if you got to open your box or whatever. But it's like, you know what I mean? Right in the epoxy. All right. But it's nice and sharp, and I heat treated it, so it's a good blade. It's polished up really good. But that just means that every one of my blades from now on will get that kind of treatment. But it's up to you. You can absolutely have this knife if you want it. Agent Alexander Usyk, salute to you. How you doing today, brother? Good to see you. Mike says, okay, I get it. I got a 1x6 that I've never sealed for the same reason. Just clamp it to the board of my old bench and then vice sticks to the board. Yeah. I mean, because it's a great vice for, what I'm doing here. Just has to be able to secure it. Ben says, I trust you to make something you're proud of. My guy. Love that. I love that. Speaking of which, this wood is lignum vitae. I'm terrible at other languages. But this is super hard. Look at that. Look at that. And I think I want to make a nice handle out of this, right? A nice knife handle out of this. Nice and thick. I might want to cut some off. Or I could cut this in half and make a full tang knife, which will allow me to use less of this for each side. But anyways, I want to do something with this. This is such amazing wood. Thank you, Emma Call, for looking out for your boy. But yeah, what I am convinced of is that my knives aren't too bad. They're not too bad. Like I said, this has been a daily carry for me for months and months now. Feels. And this one's not anything special. It's a blade I cut out of this. But this one is a blade I cut out of that. But I also heat treated this. I haven't sharpened this since I sharpened it the first time. Or what I call the final sharp. Because I want to see how that blade holds up differently. than the ones that I haven't done the heat treatment with. But I do find that because it's so shiny, I get I get a little bit obsessive about the look of it. I keep cleaning this. I get it clean enough for the blade to be back visible, and then I'm good again. All right. What's the next thing we're going to do here? It's a very hard wood. Yeah, machete stuff. Smoke dough. What up, fam? You know what's wild is yesterday, the wife and I are chillaxing, and I see the high noon, and I go, "Oh man, I missed smoke yesterday." And she says, "What?" And I said, "He does a high noon thing on Sunday." And she says, "Today is Sunday." And I said, "I thought it was Saturday." And she said, "You just said you thought it was yesterday." So I had leaped forward in time, smoke. And then I came over and hung out for a little. I did get to hang out over there for a little bit with y'all. I enjoyed it. That is a good weekend. What up, Palato? How you doing, man? Mm-mm. Gotta go make dinner. All right, Benjamin, enjoy, man. Smoke said, "Hey, Baldy." Dang, harsh. Talking about me? Talking about me, bro? Talking about me? Not to my own horn, says Agent. Turn the horn or anything, but I don't think about the days like that. I feel you. That's nice. Full of smoking Calvin and Agent and Benjamin and everyone else. What up, Pilato? Let's see if we are firm. All right, we're good enough to get our. I think I'm gonna leave that blue there, that tape, just to remind myself not to bother it for a little bit. But the next thing I want to do, get into that leather. Get into that leather. And we can do that without disturbing that. Now, real quick, I was going to say something about this earlier. Look, I don't know what your setup is, but if you got a desktop setup, man, all right, I got this box from Calvin, right? And I put this little foam in here on the bottom. It's easy to cut, right? And on the side here, and my sharp tools that I use often enough that I want to keep on my desktop, I just keep them right there. They poke into the foam, and we're gonna get to that today too. I just think it's a brilliant idea. Give you a little box. This is heavy and girthy, and you can put stuff in it and not worry about it toppling over. This is brilliant. Brilliant. Tight like that. So for the little things, yeah, like a little caddy, like a little Calvi caddy. Bilal says, now I need Calvin to make me a box. I'm telling you, man. They won't regret it. A girthy box. All right, let's go ahead and start this thing off. As far as I understand, this is a good tool to guide our stitch lines with. We don't want to go but so far. Let's tighten it up a little bit. I might even get y'all a little bit closer to me, girl. Just to be close to you. To be close to you. Oh. All right. Back at it like Craftmatic. All right. So I have to be careful not to scuff up because I already got this kind of finished-ish leather. So I'm definitely going to have to look up how to take care of it a little bit better after. To get it back, I scratched it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to basically use that line and just ride it all the way around this edge. Sorry, that's the sound I make when I scare myself. I was as unaware of it as you. Had no idea I made Wookiee sounds when I got nervous. Okay, we'll do it lightly on this side too. I think I went a little hard on the other side. Practice my Wookiee. All right, now these stitches didn't do bad. They didn't do, it is what it is. But this is holding the belt clip, the, sleeve on, thingamabob. So I'm happy enough with it. And then now I'm going to just start running these stitching markers. Wookiee Live. The Wookmeister. I swear, when I was a little kid, not a little kid, but a teenager, I was a little bit fascinated with, I don't even remember that guy's name. I think it's Michael Winslow. I thought he was amazing. He could make them sounds. I was like, that's amazing. That could be a job. I could do that. Aggravate my parents. How's my Wookiee coming along? Be honest. You take that trash out, son. And then I'm like, I gotta go. Now, this is also the good part about having a wooden desktop. It's because I can beat stuff in it. No consequence. Now, this is going to be a lot of you looking at my hands, right? And so, I'm going to glove up. Just to be, just out of gentlemanly respect, I'm going to glove up. So you don't have to look at my daily ash. Ugh. Like, what kind of wood is that? I don't know. All I see is ash. Get some sitcom background music going and punchline these jokes. Hey, I don't get no respect. All right. This little buddy here is oh man. Okay.
is a little diamond stitching chisel. And you can see I didn't pay much money for it. Over at the Hobby Lobby. Anyways, what you need is a mallet, something with a plastic head or some kind of hardish but not hard enough material. You don't want to be beating metal on metal, and you don't want to be beating wood on this metal either. So this is an automotive mallet for body work that I've had forever, and the heads are interchangeable. And there's different softnesses and stuff, but this one works for what I'm doing here. So with these, because they're in rows and you want your stitching to be uniform, you always put at least one of these in the previous hole so you can at least keep the pattern and the distance of the holes uniform. I did have the foresight to know that could be a problem for me, so that's why I got the 4-prong one. But for singles, I've got this hole punch that I've already had, this nail punch rather, that I've already had that can do the same thing. And as a backup, just in case, I've got this little Phillips head #1 tiny little eyeglass poking. It's the same size hole and the orientation because it's square. These are square. I think that'll be good. Now I put the rubber cement on these and the little strip inside of additional leather, and I'm piercing all 3 layers each time. And I'm just traveling down that edge. And that line that I made, make sure that I do get into all 3 layers and I don't miss the one that's in the middle. That's going to be sort of protecting our blade here. If you're a nervous Nelly like me, you can do two in, 2 out each time. Just to be sure you stay lined up well. And it seems to be a little easier to hit 2 of these in instead of all 4 at the same time. And if it feels a little easier, it's going to make you a little more comfortable. You'll be a little less inclined to make mistakes. It's the pulling this out of the wood, I think, is the issue. Let me see if I can. They say you can use a little sacrifice piece of leather for this kind of thing. So I've got this little scrap left over. I'll use it underneath. See how that does. But as you can see, I'm going through both sides. I'm still riding that same line on this opposite side, so that'll look good when we're done. I'm going to have to figure out how to trim this edge up and then get it nice and clean afterwards, but I'll work on that then. But right now, I'm going to just let this travel with me and see if I can get an easier pull out. Yeah, I know what I said. I know what I said. I know what I said. Calvin says, I just learned that you want to use the roller. You want to use a roller and circle holes in certain applications and diamond-shaped holes in another application. So I didn't know if you read that till I read something the other day. Nah, wax on the teeth of the punch a little makes pulling it out easier. Thanks, V Commander. Lion says, yo, Wes, fella, hope you're well. Yo, Wes, yep. Smoke says, man, I used to have a Tandy Master set with all the tools. I gifted it to someone who's working in their leather regularly. That's what a good friend does, Smoke. That is what a good friend does. Well, look, I do have some wax on hand. Mountain says, good morning, sir. Well, good morning to you. And what's up, Lions? How you doing, good brother? Thundercats. Ho. Bing, bing. My guy. Wes does it demonstrating his pull-out method. Surprises within the YouTube community standards. I knew Pilato was going to come in here and be mannish. Knew it. I knew it. I knew it. That boy ain't got no manners. No, Calvin, I had no idea. What I figured was that this will make those holes and I'll put them threads through it and it'll be fine. Now, because, you know, as usual, I try to find an all-purpose version of whatever I'm doing, just so I don't spend too much money on the wrong thing in case it's the wrong thing. And then also, I verify that it's the right thing enough to do the task. But beyond that, I am sort of freestyling. I don't really know proper tooling. But I'm also kind of that dude that be freestyling everything. I will occasionally break something though. Then I learn not to do that. But I think I like the leather work. I think I'll continue it. So that will be something I'll need to look into just to learn how to navigate. You know, nobody really wants to do anything on a low level. You know what I mean? If you're doing it with your own time and energy, you know what I mean? So appreciate that info. Do you know what specifically a diamond this one would be for, Cal? What stitch? Because I'm thinking I'm going to just do a saddle stitch. I think that's, you know, safe and strong and something I might not mess up too bad. I know you've been doing a lot of leathering over there at Dad's workshop. Plug in my network. That is coming out of there a lot better. But the other thing is I've got wax from when I waxed the thread the other day. So let me get that. See if I can find it. I don't know. Okay. And I should be able to access that pretty much the same way I was the other day. It's just in this little cap, right? So I can just poke a hole. Voila. So I'm doing 2 and 2 with these holes. I'm looking consistent as far as I can see. If you're in the chat and you're familiar with this, which side would I want to start on for the stitching? On the towards the edge of the blade or towards the handle side? Just out of curiosity, if there's a difference. A less stress stitch. Are you putting a piece, says Calvin. Lion says, are you putting a piece between the two sides to the blade cutting the thread? Oh, are you asking me if there's a piece of leather in between? Lions, I'm not sure what you're asking, but yes. Calvin says Pocahontas. That might be a seam that won't be pulled on constantly. Huh. What up, Rob, in the building? Pilato says,
Your half-assing doesn't bother me, Smoke. If you're whole-assing, it has me concerned. I accidentally deleted somebody's message. I don't know who. I don't know why it did that, but it was an accident. For leather, you never use linseed oil. Oh, no, no, no. Stop doing stuff, phone. Let me see. For leather, you never use linseed oil. It will harden and the leather will crack. Might tear apart like paper. Thanks, V Commander. Good stuff. I don't know why my phone keeps trying to make me report y'all's messages. I'm sorry. Owl. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna use this for my owl at the next time, but I will get one. I think I want to make an owl though. Owl. Am I saying that right? You know how like Southerners try to overcorrect their language and they say words wrong that are on the other side of the dynamic. Like they say area because they don't want to say area. So they add an ER on accident. Now, I've been walking down through this area for about 27 years. I ain't seen one bear. That wax helped too. Good stuff. Now look it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not riding out in this weather to go get any additional supplies. So I had to decide what I had here. And some young lady in my comment section on my short said, braided fishing line. And I said, oh snap, I got plenty. And I like this blue. And I don't care if you don't, but I'm going to use this blue. And I think it's 5 links that I should be using that I'll need 5 times the length. That's 3. 4. That's 5. And now, once again with my desktop knife, super coolness. All right. So I can get rid of that. And now I got needles somewhere. Let me go get them. All right, that probably good. That's probably good. And from what I understand, what you do is just thread both sides and you essentially just keep going through that thing from one side to the other, passing through like lovers in the night. The lovers in the night be passing through though, really? Your harsh life if that's what you were doing. Enough chatter. Fishing line works, but for the leather pieces that move and shift a lot, the line will start cutting the leather. Well, this hopefully won't shift and move a lot. It's a knife sheath. But dang, it's good to have people in here that know something, bro. Trying to tell you, it does a lot for the confidence to have some help about. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna half and half this by just stretching it out like that.
And then I'm gonna go through this joint one side, boom, till I hit that. I'm gonna go through the other side, boom, like so. And on this first stitch, double check my lengths again while I can. Stop spinning and jerk. All right. All right. Now on this first stitch, I'm gonna just double it up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna double it up. Put you over here. Just go back through. Gotta be careful. I keep pulling this line out. All right. Oh, wait. Doing it wrong. Can't go around like that. I gotta go through. So I can keep all of the stitches on the same side. Right? Let's just get you out of there too. Boom. That one also shifted a little bit ugly on this side. I see it. I definitely see it on the tip. It's also why I'm doing this double up too. Just on this first stitch. Now, this is a situation where the vise comes in handy, right? But we can hold this upright. Let's see if we can do it anyway with that vise and just sit it here. Might have enough weight to just sit there. I don't have to pull and tug on it too tough. Move that. Grab that. Getting wrapped up. Hey, did I tighten that thing? Been sitting down here in the cold. Okay. Just gonna let it sit there and hold this for a second. That's all we're gonna need. And I will I'll adjust this camera angle as need be. I want you to get the idea, if there's an idea to be shared. Even if I'm flubbing it up, I want you to get a good view of it so you'll know what not to do, should you choose it. So I'm back through this hole on this side. I'm going back to that same hole on this side. And try not to hang up on stuff, and then I pull it tight both ways. These are sliding out of these big eye holes, eyelets, pretty easily, but they go back in pretty easily. So it's a little bit frustrating, but not super. So now we just travel through to the next hole each time. And each time we pass through, catch it on the other side. And it seems to be as simple as that. And of course, these are needles that are specifically made for leather work, but they weren't particularly expensive. Couple bucks get you in the game. Introductory level stuff, I'm sure, but get started. Always good to not invest too much before you know if you like something or not. But there's always a little investment. And in this case, fairly minimal. But this piece of leather, which is, pre-dyed and everything on one side, cost me about $8. Just enough leather to maybe do this and maybe one other project, small. That's enough to let me know if I want to get involved enough with getting other leathers and doing the dyeing and stuff myself, maybe getting it cheaper, maybe getting more of it so I can save on it. But buying one little piece that can do one specific task and little room for error, now you can get by with some of this stuff. You can learn it or you can not learn it. You definitely can have fun. If you decide I never want to do it again, you'll say, hey, I used to do some leather working back in the day. You know what I mean? What I'm going to do. This is definitely not a fancy stitch, but it's more of a beginner stitch. And I think that this is a good way to get started. Most everything I'm doing here is going to be entry level type stuff. We're getting more complicated builds and stuff like that when I have the funding to do it. But for now, this is a practical DIY. If you want to get into something, I'll get into it first. And if you want to go further, you at least see what's involved a little bit, to some degree from a beginner, novice standpoint. Oh, Calvin says he was working on bone needles but broke them. Man, that sounds like intricate, delicate work. What bones do you even use for that? Do you use a whole bone that you whittle down or something, or you splinter a bone. I wonder how that process even goes. I don't think I've seen it. Too delicate. Yeah. Something I think that's an important thing for people to know about themselves. If something's too fragile for you to deal with, or too cumbersome, too labor intensive, you know what I mean? There's like a whole spectrum. Like there's some people that are like, I can't spend the kind of physical power it takes to tan leather and all the processes and buckets of liquid and all the physical parts of it. Yo, I am feeling this blue. How y'all feel about this blue? I like it against this dark leather. I really do. You'll polish the exposed leather edge. Oh, deer cannonbone or raccoon. Raccoon. Will I polish the exposed edge? Yes. I've got to cut that exposed edge first, and then kind of figure out how to do it from there. Because I'm not sure. I've cut this leather very cleanly with a couple things. The cleanest of which was a knife blade, but I have not tried to cut through 3 pieces of leather, which of course what this edge is, and I don't know how that's going to work. And if it gives me something rough, I'm not 100% sure what to do with that. Because I know I can burnish, but I got to get all these definitely on the same plane to do that, right? I'm using carpenter terms to the leatherman in here. I hope I got enough bread to make it in tight. It's the kind of thing that just kind of humdrums along, and then you step back and look at it a little bit. I'm like, hey, that's not too bad. Which I think in my case is a reasonable expectation, not too bad. I don't think it's going to get too glorious today. Not too bad. It's not too bad. I was watching Calvin stitching that baseball stitching on the axe sheath, that he was building over there. And I thought I could put some new leather on my steering wheel and I could do it similarly. That would be dope. So eventually, I think if I can get confident enough to take on something like that, I'm going to try it. I already got wood grain on Shirley. Definitely not going to go over that. But on Dorothy, leather might be dope. Getting towards the end, it looks like we're going to make it. So it looks like the formula of 5 times the length for this stitch was pretty spot on. Now I got that song stuck in my head. And even if I could, it'll all be great. But the picture on my wall, it reminds me, not so bad, not so bad. Dear Stan. Tempted to just be tying fishing knots on the end of this, right? So let's see what we got. Not too bad. Saying my thread's too loose. Well, let's see. That's what we got. Now, you just got to cut this edge up, clean that up. Oh, I can sand it. Thank you. Good to know. Close enough. Good to know. Save me some time, bro. I appreciate you. And we sand it on the belt sander. Or do we sand it on the little hand sander, little hand belt sander? Over there. Where are you, boy? What do you think? Is my favorite movie Rambo? Be careful, leather's very soft. Man, had to sub, never seen the Black Craftsman on my page before. This shit fire. Right on. Right on. Yeah, leather soft, don't need to cut the edge. I can send it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with it. I think I'm gonna hit this first. No, this is, I'll tell you what happened with this knife, right? Rambo, right? This knife is the very first knife I ever made. And I made it out of a machete blade that I found in the back of my truck. It's about 3 times as long as this. And the handle was already shaped. I cracked the plastic handle off and I used I think this is hickory from my yard. I cut it, shaped it, put it on there, and cut this blade new and different. And that's what I ended up with. And a subscriber who's been around this channel as long as it's been around, Ruiz, liked it. And he said he wanted it. And now I'm going to send it to him. And I'm going to give him a sheath with it because I wanted to be able to send it safe and proper and be able to carry it, whatever. Because all the sheaths I've made prior have been wooden, like so. And for me, that's fine. That works. But for a knife of this size, you can't put that in a piece of wood in your pocket. So, yeah, I mean, I can use this. I think that'll be more fun over there. So let's do it over there. Let's just do it over there. And it might go faster. Let's get our maskification back on. You gotta stay safe. All right, we're gonna hit this. We're just gonna treat it like wood. Look at that, working. Hold on 1 second, y'all. V Commander, I'm gonna have to add you as a moderator, fam. Appreciate you in here. Appreciate you in here. I want to be able to see your comments.
Get in there. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana. That worked. Hey, what's going on? Ultimate Licks, how you doing? How you doing? Your hand sanded smooth at the end and bevel the edge. The power tool is rough. That's what we shall do, my friend. Let's see. Now what I'm gonna do is going back to my old roots and start with my 80 and knock it down to so I get to the 120. Not my 220, I mean. But already it's looking better. Let me get you a little better view. BK says, nice. I didn't know that's what you were doing. Thanks. Well, hey, BK. How are you doing today? How you holding up in this weather? Also, how are you, Mr. McCall? How are you holding up in this weather? I apologize. I hadn't even addressed you yet. M. McCall in the chat, Eco Wood Creations or Woodcrafts, is who provided me with this lovely wood for the handle of this knife here. And it's magnificent. The wood. Yes, so we're going to bevel it. We do that with the 80, right? Get that started. Whew. I'm applying woodworking muscle memory to this, so
apologies if I flub it up. But so far, I'm liking the look of this. This is not turning out too bad. That wasn't good. Y'all been watching the new Game of Thrones stuff? My wife and I were very excited for new Game of Thronesness coming out. It's a good time in the house, you know what I mean? You're in here anyway. Might as well get some good television in. The PVA glue the white glue kids use. Box will make it waterproof, super glue bad. Okay. I like it. If I had a belt, I'd try it on. Maybe I can put it on the suspenders. Here we go. Here we go. Carry that thing like a real Dundee. All right. Enough of my tomfoolery. I like that. And I would like to say, I feel like this is a completed mission. Little weirdness down here on the stitching at the base. Fortunately, I think the back is the uglier of the two sides. So I'm happy with that. I think it turned out okay. I don't even know what else to do to it. I do need to, because I'm who I am. Got a little hand oil on there, because that's what happens. I really gotta consider my next finish on this thing. Because now it's ready to go. But it does need a finish on the handle. And I'm wondering at this point, still, should I stain it? Or should I just put the set and finish on it right now? Call it done. So I really do like this light. I like this. I like light woods, lightly colored woods, to sort of stay that way. So I think I'm deciding right now, I'm going to go ahead and put a satin finish over this. I'll tape it up real good, protect it, and put a satin finish over the handle, spray finish. Have to figure out a place to do it because I cannot. Ventilation here is going to bring the cold. So might have to set up a way to get the air out. Or do it outside and run back in. Maybe the best way, but not in this garage door because I'm not opening that thing today. It's a little 220 that I'm just running over everything. I like the character of this wood. I don't necessarily want to hide it, but I don't think boiled linseed oil is the enhancement visually that I want. My handle, we've done it, proud of it. Now we're going to get to this joint. Sorry, y'all. I have no idea how that happened, but thanks for coming back. So what I'm doing now is just taping over, covering up everything that I don't want to get sheen on. Blue tape is good for a lot of things. This is one of them. Relatively speaking, it's cheap, pretty harmless to most surfaces, but does seem to bond without leaving any or much residue behind on almost every surface. What am I doing? A commercial for blue tape? Blue tape. Stuff you can do with it. Proud WesDoesIt sponsor. All right. A little blue tape wizardry. We're back. All right, where do we gotta go? I'm gonna let y'all come with me to the lair. Trip, we gotta go through some stuff to get here. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't judge my basement. I'm inviting you in as a trusted confidant. This used to be my old shop. Yeah. This room, I mean. Whew, it's cold. Holy smoke. Ugh. All right. Put y'all up here. Don't have to. Never in this sunroom. I do this fast because if this gets colder, it's not gonna have the proper effect. That's rough, but it works. Good thing about this stuff, you can sand it. If you do too thick, ugh, you can sand it. Maybe we'll waterproof that today. Back. So satin was what we went with. And hopefully, it's good. Let me pause for a second. So don't want to set this down on a stupid phone holder. Ugh, there we are. Now that's fresh on there, so it's gonna soak in. It should turn into more of a satiny finish when we get all said and done. I think we'll have a good pair here between these two. I think in order to let this do what it needs to do, I can pull off some of this on the business end of this knife. And now maybe an opportunity to dry without me having to hold it. Still a sharp knife, right? Speaking of, right in there. 2 points. Think we got us a good little surface there. We'll put some sanding on that. Maybe the 400. Let's start with the 220. Just some 220. Some dubs. Gonna go diagonal. Making your way. And this particular case, a little wet sanding is in order. So that's the 220 on the wet sand right there. And we might as well get to the 4. And a 400 wet too. All right. It doesn't feel flat and smooth, but it may be flat and smooth enough. Feel a little ridge right here, well, a little dip. If not, we can put another little very, very light layer on it, but we should try it. Clean off the bottom. Let's see. That's the whole table moving, so you got a good grip. We have done several successful things today already. We got more stuff to do because I got nothing else to do today but hang out with y'all. So I guess for now, I'm gonna skedaddle. I think I like this. Tell me what you think. Did a couple of shorts up until this point, and then I did this. I should have probably recorded some of this for a short, but I'll reference it. But thank you all for hanging out with me so far today. If you choose to do it again later, I appreciate that too. Hope y'all are staying warm. Hope y'all are comfortable. Because we have, I mean, if you got to be home, you know, rest, relax. If you don't have to go to work, embrace it. Get some extra time with the family, embrace it. Get some extra time alone, embrace it. We're alive and we're healthy enough to sit and watch YouTube. So let's be as grateful as we can, as productive as we can. I'm 100% happy with that. There may be some more to do, but for now, I'm 100% happy with that. You woke up, not leaving the house, as BK. When I woke up, it was -13. Holy moly. Whittling a spoon, that's a good idea. Spoon whittling is great to pass the time and build the skill set. I'm so proud of this little knife, man. Can't even tell you. The knife and the sheath. I'm gonna go upstairs and brag to my wife. And then I'm gonna figure out how I want to box this up and send it out to Ruiz. Thanks, BK. This has West style. Yeah, maybe I'm developing a style. That'd be interesting, right? But I do like this. It's a big old knife. It's far more knife than I would carry around on a regular basis. And I don't really bushcraft or anything like that. Thanks, Sig. I appreciate it. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that too. Yeah, I don't really, I wouldn't carry around something this big, but I could definitely, well, in the woods, I do carry a machete, probably 3 times bigger than that. But yeah, I'm too small a frame for this to be on my hip. So this might work out for Mr. Ruiz. This is more my speed. So we ever meet in the Australian streets, this would be my daily right here, right? And be like, that's not a knife. That's a knife. And they'd be right. Looks like a reliable knife. It is. It has been a pretty good knife. And the benefit is that it started out its life as a machete. So shaped a new blade, shaped a new edge, made a new handle, and put this thing on it, made this sheath for it. And this knife, I believe, stay in there. It's the same metal, same stuff. And this one served me really well as well. This I think I'll keep. This one I think I'll keep. It, of course, has a wooden sheath situation to it so that it can fit in that watch pocket. Watch pocket. You know what I mean? And I do daily this knife pretty often. But when I make a new one, I get excited about it. I'll carry it around a bunch. But this one's always been too big to be on my person. So I'll film a little video for this, I think, maybe, and then figure out what I want to do next, and then get started on it. I think I might want to cut a new knife today. I'm a little motivated. I do want to do one for Ben Winkle. If you have a chance and you want to see some cool wood turning, Benjamin Winkle is the most dynamic wood turner I think that I've seen personally. Not the only, and not the only great one, but the most dynamic in my opinion. And I'm going to try to do a knife worthy of something as artistic as his shop puts out. Because we're doing a little trade, you know what I mean? He's going to do me one, a knife. I'm going to do him a knife, and he's going to send me a bowl. And the bowl he was working on today was fantastic. Fantastic. Please look him up. Benjamin Winkle. He's incredible. He does this cool thing, workshop update. And it's amazing. Anyways, this is already dry. And this is already done. WesDoesIt. Catch y'all next time, man. Don't miss me. Check the shorts. Go see stuff. Go watch stuff. Go like stuff. Go subscribe to stuff. Even join memberships. Subscriptions are free. Memberships, a little money, a little something, a little big. You know what I'm saying? Help me buy this stuff here. Good night. So it goes to members, you know what I'm saying? Uh-oh, got my chain caught in the thing. And eventually I'm going to do a giveaway and give away some of this kind of stuff too. I got to think of some new things to do. But I'll see you then. Well, goodbye has been 20 minutes long. But I'm glad to have people in here. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. Peace. Wes does it.